All right, greetings, ChampCar racers. Welcome to your virtual drivers meeting for your 12-hour race at Thompson Speedway coming up here in Connecticut in just a few short days. As always, we'd like to start off by thanking our sponsors and welcome you to your TireRack.com ChampCar Endurance Series event. And additional sponsors include Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline Fire Suppression, RVA Graphics and Wraps, Bell Racing, the official helmet of ChampCar, NLA Parts, and UUC Motorworks. Also, a huge thank you to the Chandler School, who sponsors our Sportsmanship Award. More on that at the award ceremony Saturday evening. And our class sponsors, Discovery Parts, MoneyShiftRacing.com, and Krispy Kreme. As always, we appreciate all of our sponsors. They certainly help you guys out with the cost of racing, so we appreciate having them on board. Big thing to notice here is we will be doing an actual in-person drivers meeting at 7 o'clock on Saturday before the race. We've had a lot of good feedback about these virtual drivers meetings, so we're going to continue to do both, but I'm not going to dive too deeply into track behavior, pit lane stuff and whatnot, because we'll talk about that in a little more detail Saturday morning at the in-person drivers meeting. It's probably a good time to point out, though, looking at the registration list, we have several teams that are racing with ChampCar for the first time. Some teams that have experience in other series and other events, and teams that are just coming out, very first time racing anywhere and choosing to race with us. So first, thank you guys for choosing to race with us. I hope you guys have a really good time. Most importantly, I hope you have enough fun to come back and race with us again. However, if it's your first time racing with ChampCar, please understand that some of our rules are enforced a little differently. In the email that this video came in, there is another link to our new to ChampCar drivers meeting. It's a little bit deeper dive into how we officiate the race, how you can expect the start to go, how we manage pit lane, a lot of detail there about fueling rules, over the wall, jugs, all the stuff that takes a lot of time to cover, how we officiate the passing rules, how we manage flags, how we end the race, the whole 9 yards. So if this is your first time ever racing with ChampCar, even if you've raced somewhere else, or you just haven't raced with ChampCar in a long time, please take a few minutes to click on that link and watch that video. It'll really answer a lot of your questions, especially about how we manage pit lane, timers, 5-minute pit stop, all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty deep dive in there to really help you guys out. Okay, so moving on, now that I'm skipping over that, just a quick reminder, though, for everyone, and I'll say it again on Saturday, pit stops and pit lane. When you come on pit lane, everybody stops at pit in, period, all the time. Everybody stops at pit in. Everybody stops at pit out all the time. It doesn't matter if you did a full-on 5-minute pit stop with fuel and a driver change, or you just came in to straighten the windshield wipers, or you came in to a black flag. It doesn't matter. When you go to pit out, stop at pit out. There's a stop sign. One of my officials will be there. We'll check your timer. If you did not take fuel or you were coming down for a black flag, obviously we won't hold you for the 5 minutes, but just make sure you tell the pit official no fuel, and they'll do their bit and let you go. Their bit. What does their bit mean? First and foremost, they're going to check your wristband. Make sure you have your driver's wristband on your left arm so they can look at it. Yes, they're going to look at it every time, even if you were just on pit lane 2 minutes ago. They don't know. You're just a set of eyes and a helmet to them. They don't know who you are and how many times you've been in. They're going to look for that wristband every time. Make sure you have it on. Make sure you have your drivers buckled into the car properly. This is my huge, gigantic liability statement. You'll hear me make it many times. It is your responsibility to buckle your driver into the car properly, not ours. We are doing a cursory check of just what we can see. We'll make sure your window net is up and it doesn't fall down. We'll look inside the car. If we can make a quick adjustment, like put a shoulder belt over your head and neck restraint, or, attach something for you quickly, we will. But if the driver's not buckled into the car properly and the safety gear isn't applied properly, we will not attempt to fix it if it's beyond just a small little thing. We will turn you around and send you back to your pit stall, and it'll cost you time. So take those few extra seconds while you're in your pit box when you buckle your driver in. Make sure he or she is buckled in properly before you send them down to pit out. Now that it's on my mind, I'll mention this too. If you take fuel and you have to do a fuel 5-minute pit stop and you're one of the really good teams and you really got a fast fueling process, please do not send your car down to pit out with several minutes remaining on the timer. It clogs up the pit out area because we have to find a place to park you until your 5 minutes click down. Send him down there with 10, 15 seconds, no problem. The pit out official will check all the stuff I talked about, give you a quick hand countdown and send you on your way. But if you go down there with several minutes remaining on the timer, it just creates a roadblock at pit out. And frankly, you're wasting a couple minutes that you could have taken in your pit box to look your car over, buckle your driver in right, check your tires, all that kind of stuff. So please just be cognizant of that. We have a lot of teams at this race. This is our best registration ever at Thompson. I always knew Thompson could do this. From the first year we went there, it's a great track. It's a good time. I'm so happy to see the numbers back up. We did really good. Our first year, great. Our second year, then COVID. Well, COVID, the year we all want to race. But this year, man, you guys have really turned out, and I thank you guys so much for that. The only thing is it's going to make pit lane a little crowded. So please be cognizant of pitting with your neighbors. Everybody's going to be doubled up in their pit stall. And again, if you've got time on your timer, please don't send your car down to pit out. Excuse me. It's just going to create a roadblock down there. Remember that everyone over the wall during fueling has to be in full driver gear, head to foot, right? Socks, suit, gloves, balaclava if you need it, face mat or a full face helmet shield down. Again, more information on that on the other drivers, the long-term drivers meeting, the new to ChampCar drivers meeting. Remember your 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher. You need to have that with you. You need to have a drip pan under the point where you're doing the fueling process. Even if you have an overflow jug that plugs in, you still need to have a drip pan. Why? Because it's in our rules and it's required. 3-inch hard-sided drip pan. And remember that the purpose of the drip pan is to catch the spill. Please don't pick the drip pan up and then give it a good shake, which I have seen people do, and then put the empty drip pan back behind the pit lane. The idea is to pick up the pan with any fuel you've spilled and put it safely over the wall. Everyone over the wall from the moment the gas cap comes off until the moment the gas cap goes back on, and all the flammable stuff goes back over the wall. That's the last remaining fuel jug with an extra gallon in it, and that pan full of a couple quarts of spilled fuel. When all that stuff goes back over the wall, then everybody that's working on the car can be in regular gear and whatnot. The only thing you can do while you're fueling the car is change the driver. That's only change the driver. I'm reinforcing this, especially because, like I said, we got some new teams. So the more I push this out, the more likely you are to hear it and remember it. Only change the driver. You cannot change the cool suit water, camera batteries. You certainly can't check air pressure, oil, changing the engine, open the hood, any of that kind of stuff, right? No adding oil, anything. Takes about 2 minutes for most teams to put in a full load of fuel. I'm asking for 2 minutes of your undivided attention about every 2 hours while you're fueling the car. Fuel the car, change the driver, that's it. Remember, you're 5 people over the wall, 1 person handling the fuel jug, 1 person handling the fire extinguisher, 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher, driver in, driver out, and 1 person to assist the drivers in and out of the car. Remember, everybody in full gear. Talk more about that a little bit on Saturday morning. I know I'm kind of blowing through this, but again, more details in the new to ChampCar video, and we'll talk about it some more then. Friday, we get to the track. Gates open for the ChampCar people at 9 a.m. I'm glancing over here at the SUPs. Remember, kids, read the SUPs. My people will show up around 11 and start setting up tech and registration. The track has a test day available. For more information on that, contact Thompson Speedway directly. The sign-up information and pricing is all there. Please remember that you still need to get your car through tech inspection. We are going to shut down tech inspection here. I'm glancing over at the SUPs. Tech inspection is set to close at 5. The track event closes at 5. So please don't have a 50-car line at 5 o'clock all trying to go through tech. You need to get your car through tech inspection. Budget some time to bring your car through during your test day if you're running it. If you have already run an event in 2021 and you have a 2021 tech inspection sticker on your car, you do not need to come visit tech again. Go straight into registration, register your team, get your wristbands for your drivers and your crew members, and you'll be all set. If you have not been to a race this year and you do not have a 2021 tech inspection sticker, then you need to obviously go see tech. For those of you that have not run with us this year, we have opened up electronic tech. Team captains, when you log into your account, you'll see a button, a tab, a link, whatever you want to call it, to the right, along with the listing of the tabs, and it says submit a tech form. 2 weeks before the race, we're in 2 weeks now, it will show up Thompson Speedway. Click on Thompson Speedway, and you will see an electronic version of the tech form. It looks just like the paper form. Fill it out just like you would fill out the paper form. Your basic car information, your basic VPI, look it up, put it in, go down the form. There'll be drop downs, check boxes, depending upon what the item is. If it's a yes, no thing, like do you have it, yes or no, there'll be a checkbox. There's drop downs for shocks. If you've got shocks, coilovers, that kind of stuff, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if for some reason you've got 3 coilover packages on your car, then pick 3. It's probably going to be 2 or 4, but hey, we have 1 and 3 in there also. But being a little glib about that, but seriously, just go through. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's spots on the bottom where you can put the square footage, square inches, etc. of materials. Do all the math on that form just like you would do it on paper. Click save, submit it, and it will be in the system. It will be there when you go to tech. We will not review that form. Tech inspection will only check the safety gear on your car, your roll cage, your driver safety gear, your fire suppression system, window nets, all that kind of stuff. This has dramatically sped up tech inspection, right? You guys help out, do a little bit of legwork on the front end, get your forms done, get submitted. The tech inspectors check just the safety gear on the car, go over to registration, get your registration stuff done. You're probably asking yourself, well, why am I filling out the tech stuff? Well, where it becomes important is if you make it to impound. If you win the race, place in your class, etc. If you're one of the 9 cars that we bring into impound, then we will go in, ChampCar will go in, pull the registration form, the tech form that you submitted, print it, put it on the car. Then your competitors get to look at your car and compare it to your tech form. And that's where it becomes important, is at impound at the end of the race. But by doing it electronically like this, and by us not having to go over and redo all the paperwork on the car, it has dramatically sped up the tech process. So I'm anticipating, based on previous events we've been to this year, that we won't have the hours-long tech line that we've had. I know some of you guys in the Northeast, this is your first race of the year for us. And then obviously some of you guys that are new teams, just trying to make the customer experience better. So please take that time to go in. And team captains, based on previous experience, if you're not the guy that actually works on the car, please check with your mechanics and make sure you know exactly what is and is not bolted on the car, square inches, square feet of material, and et cetera. We've had a couple times already during the year at impound where the team captain had checked off that they had, a this and a that, and turned out that the mechanics had added more or taken things off, and the team captain didn't know. So if you're working on the car, terrific. But if you're not the one turning the wrenches and doing the work, make sure you get with those wrench turners and make sure you understand exactly what is and is not bolted on the car, so your tech form as submitted accurately represents the car that you bring to the race. So hoping you make it to impound. Obviously only 9 of you are going to make it, but congratulations to those of you who do. But that tech form will be really important then. All right, moving on a little bit. The flag stuff, we'll talk about flags more at the drivers meeting on Saturday. Again, deeper dive in the new to ChampCar meeting. We are going to do a in-person, we call it the novice school, but really it's the new to ChampCar meeting. Fortunately, the COVID things are opening up a little bit and we can get together again and do these things. So 5 p.m. on Friday in the little classroom area there at Thompson. If this is your first time racing with ChampCar, or you just want, a review, watch the video, but please come to the meeting on 5 o'clock. Some things have changed. We filmed that movie, listen to me, it's a movie, it's a blockbuster special. We filmed that video 2 years ago. So there have been a few changes, but nothing really critical. You can get what you need by watching the video, but we are able to do an in-person meeting. So 5 p.m. Again, if this is your first time with ChampCar, or you got a brand new member of your team, please come to the new driver meeting at 5 p.m. We'll cover flags and all that stuff in much greater detail there. However, just a quickie, the more stuff I put out to you, the more it sinks in. Yellow flags, standing yellow, 70% race speed, waving yellow, 50% race speed. ChampCar uses what we describe as line of sight, which means if you can see that flag is for you. No racing up to the flag, no running side by side through the flag areas. When you see the flag, I want you to get in line, nose to tail, and go safely through the area, whatever the incident is, right? Could be a car off, could be rescue workers out there. The important thing for ChampCar is that you slow down, get in line, nose to tail, and proceed through the incident area. Stay away from the rescue vehicles, stay away from the rescue personnel who are out on the side of the road assisting one of your fellow racers. When you are past the incident and you can see the next flag station, and you can see that flag station has no flag displayed, then you can go back to racing. Okay, so line of sight. As soon as you see the flag, you're under the control of it. When you're past the incident and you can see the next flag station is displaying no flag, then you can go back to racing. Pretty simple. We'll go through it a little bit more on Saturday morning. Black flag will be displayed at start finish along with a number panel. If you see the black flag, we give you the black flag. just come into the black flag. Black flag reception will be at pit in. There'll be somebody there to tell you why. Could be driving behavior, could be you got a bumper falling off, could be that we had a report of contact and we need to look at 2 cars and ask you what happened. Just come in. The faster you get in the black flag, the faster we get it taken care of, the sooner you get right back out on track. They'll release you as soon as they're done with you. Remember to stop at pit out because they're still going to want to see your wristband and your safety gear, and then proceed back out onto the track. Again, more details on that later. It's going to get dark. First time I went to Thompson, I was pretty surprised at just how dark it got there. Some of you were at that race and you remember what that was like. So this year, we're going to do headlights on the cars at 5 p.m. That's headlights on and turned on, right? Like the shiny stuff coming out of the front of the bulbs. Please remember, many of you, like my old team did, have a switch for those really fancy forward-facing headlights, and then the original factory switch of some kind for your tail lights, running lights, etc. You got to have on both. Remember to turn on both, right? Your tail lights and your headlights. If it takes 2 switches, please make sure they're on. Is 5 o'clock early? Yeah, 5 o'clock is definitely early. There's still plenty of daylight out at 5 and probably till 6. The reason we want the headlights on that early is so if your headlights are not on, we have time to work with you to get it fixed, to get them on right, to make sure they're working as you cycle through your pit stops, or even if we have to bring you in at a caution period or something. What I don't want to do is wait till after dark and then have to black flag you and potentially ruin your race when it could have been something that we could have solved in the daylight. So putting the headlights on so early gives us plenty of time to get the problem solved and make sure everybody's compliant with the lights. And then I don't have to ruin somebody's race for something as simple as not turning on a switch. So that's why we put the lights on so early, is we're very cognizant of the fact that it could affect people's races. And again, probably a good time to say this, that I try to push out there as much as possible. My staff is there to help you get through the event and have a great time. We are not looking for reasons to black flag you, penalize you, or mess with you in any way. So if my staff comes over to you for some reason, it's because we're there trying to help you. The light situation is a perfect example of that. We're not trying to ruin your day by black flagging you at night. We want to have plenty of time in the daylight to get with you and say, hey, your headlights are not on. And you tell us, hey, I'm pitting in 15 minutes. Great. Just make sure you get your lights on. Gives us plenty of time to work with you guys so you can have a successful race. Pushing on through here. So this happens every year. It's just a function of the fact of the way the renting goes. And I want to reinforce this. I put it in some of the emails and I'll put it out again. There's the gate. When I say gate, I mean the gate out by the main road where you first enter the track facility, where the ticket building is and all that kind of stuff. Then there's a bridge that goes over the track and into the paddock. And there is a gate there, and that gate does, they close it and lock it at night. So when I say gate, some people think I mean the gate at the paddock versus the gate out by the road. So from a labeling standpoint, there's the bridge into the paddock and the gate out by the main road. Saturday night after the race, we have to be out of the paddock area. That means over the bridge. There's plenty of parking in the area on the other side of the bridge over by the restaurant. There's camping facilities out on the other side of the track that are part of the track that you can reserve for the night. You do not have to be off the property Saturday night. You can leave your rig and get it Sunday morning, but we have to be out of the paddock, which means over the bridge into the main area of the track. First year we were there was some confusion over where the gate and what we meant was. So I want to be really clear about that. We have to be out of the paddock Saturday night, which means over the bridge, out of that paddock area, because they have another renter coming in the next day. You can stay on the property. There's places to camp and etc. You don't have to leave the Thompson facility, but we have to be out of the paddock and over the bridge Saturday night. So I hope that's clear. Hope that makes sense to you guys. If this is your first race with ChampCar or your first race this year, make sure you bring your driver safety gear. That's your helmet, your suit, all that kind of stuff. The inspection for that will be over in the tech area. Yes, somebody can bring your gear over for you, but we need to see all of your stuff head to toe before we put the inspection sticker on your helmet. If you don't have that tech inspection or gear check sticker on your helmet, they're going to turn you around and pit out. So if you're not going to be there till Saturday sometime, please have somebody come check your gear. If you do get there Saturday, just come find us and get your gear checked, but just make sure you have that done. Looking down my list here and talking slowly while I try to read at the same time. So we talked about the electronic tech form, the fact that we're going to check safety gear only at tech inspection, your driver gear check, make sure you get that done, get your sticker on the helmet. Registration. Team captains, please take a minute to look over your registration. Make sure your drivers are all listed properly. Make sure any crew members that you have are listed properly on there. Please check everyone's membership expiration. Remember that we are a member-owned club. It's kind of unique among the amateur racing world. We are a member-owned club. And for our insurance to continue to process properly, every person that's participating in the race must be a member of the ChampCar organization. Again, it's part of our insurance. So please make sure everyone's membership is up to date. The more of that stuff you can get done early, the faster the registration process will go. If you're unable to, or you have some kind of technical problem, we can certainly sort it out for you at registration. But the more of you that are able to get your registrations all paid up and done, the quicker the process goes. They'll give you their wristbands for your drivers, wristbands for your crew members. Remember that anybody that's going to be participating in the race, that means in the hot pits, going over the wall, they've got to be a ChampCar member with a crew member wristband. You can buy what we used to call a one-day or one event membership at the track. It's $20. You can get it at registration. If people are coming to see you and they're only going to be in the paddock area or they're not going to be over the bridge, then they can be on the property. But we cannot use, I've gotten a couple of questions about this. We cannot use what's called the dreaded S word, the spectator word, because we are not insured for spectators. And it's semantics, I know, but we got to make sure we stay within our insurance regulations. So technically, ChampCar is a non-spectator organization. So you can have friends, family, guests, caterers, whatever you want to call it, come to the track in the paddock area or on the other side of the bridge and some of the viewing areas and whatnot, or the golf course, wherever they want to go. But if they're going to be participating in the race, meaning in the hot pits, over the wall, or certainly in the car, then they must have the appropriate wristband on and be a member of the ChampCar organization. Hope that makes sense. If you got any other questions, shoot us an email and I'll be happy to try and work it out with you. So memberships ahead of time, great. Make sure they're fully paid up. If you want to get a membership for someone on a one event at the event, you can certainly do that at registration. So somebody asked me a question. Again, this is probably a function of new teams. They wanted to know about doing driver changes back at their garage or their paddock. And the answer is yes. You are free to go back to your paddock area, your garage if you have one, and do just about anything you want on the car back there. The one thing you absolutely cannot do per our rules is fuel the car in the paddock or certainly not in the garage. In fact, Thompson, much like most tracks, does not want any fuel stored in the garages at all. So you're not allowed to fuel in the garage at any time. No fuel in the garage. But you can go back to your paddock and get back to your garage, and you're welcome to change your driver there. You're still going to have to go through the same checks at pit out, but you cannot fuel in the paddock or garage area. Per our rules, all fueling must take place on pit lane. So however you want to manage your race, feel free to do so, but you're going to need to fuel the car on pit lane with the appropriate safety gear. So hope that's clear to everyone. Again, if you got any other questions, get with me, but that was a question I got that I hadn't heard in a while. So I thought I'd answer that for everybody. Lights on at 5 p.m. New to ChampCar / novice meeting, 5 p.m. on Friday. Drivers meeting, 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. Remember, for those of you that haven't raced with us before, the race starts at 8. That means green on the track at 8. So after the drivers meeting, I need everybody in their cars, buckled in their cars, all cars in their pit stall. I know you're sharing pit stalls, so back them in. Those of you that are new, you'll see how the teams are doing it. They kind of back them in on a little bit of an angle. Everybody in their cars buckled in, ready to go at 7:45. Be ready to roll out probably 7:50-ish. We'll take 2 laps around the track. First time by, we'll check all the transponders on the track loop. Second time by, we'll bring the pace car in, and we should be green at 8 o'clock on the track. We run straight through, nonstop, checkered flag at 8 p.m. Regardless of red flags, race stoppages, or anything, the race will end at 8 p.m. Impound, minimum of 30 minutes, maximum of 90. And after that, award ceremony there, probably in the garage area, the registration building. That's all I've got. I think everything else can be covered on, oh, look at that. One more note over here in the corner. Sound measurements. ChampCar does have a sound restriction of 96 dB. We're going to be checking it. We will be informing you of what your sound is. We'll let you know how over the sound you are. If you're over the sound, if you're good, we won't be talking to you. But if you're over, we will let you know. We will manage it accordingly. Again, I'm not looking for reasons to pull somebody in, not looking for reasons to ruin somebody's race. If you're just a tiny bit over, we can work with you, but we've had some teams that have been ticking well into the hundreds and sometimes over 110. And we are slowly but surely going to start ratcheting that down. It's kind of been a forgotten thing in ChampCar for a long time, but expect to see my sound guy wandering around with a sound meter. And if you're high on sound, we will let you know. How we handle it is going to be directly dependent upon how much over the sound you are. We'll try to get that to you as much as we can on Friday, so nobody has any surprises or something unforeseen Saturday. So this is more of an information thing, right? We're trying to get this out to you guys so you know what the sound is, so that as we begin to ratchet it down and enforce it more, it won't be a huge surprise on people. All right, that I think is all I've got. Paulie's giving me the thumbs up, not the chop off the neck thing. So I'm going to consider that a success. Thank you guys for racing with us, especially those of you who are racing with us for the first time. We really look forward to seeing you guys out there. I'm excited to be back at Thompson again. They got great ice cream over at the Pro Shop. So, go check out the ice cream thing. And if you want a really good decision from Race Control, mint chocolate chip and chocolate chip cookie dough, just throwing that out there. So you guys travel safe. Hope the weather holds out for us, and we'll see you shortly. Thank you.